Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday, and a great Monday it's going to be here in Northern Illinois. It's going to be sunny. I can see the stars, and I can't wait. So we've been talking about managing our state. We've said that managing your state is the number one thing to learn how to do. If you can manage your state in tough times, you got everything. If you don't manage your state, if you let the times manage you, then you're going to struggle. You got nothing. It's really the number one factor. And we said that there's three things that go into deciding what your state is. Your physiology, that's your physical body, your focus, and then the meaning that you give to something. And that'll be the last thing that we talk about is the meaning. We've been talking about physiology, and we've said that a radical change in your physiology will create a radical change in your state. And the best way to think about that is to look at athletes. You watch an athlete do something, and before they get ready to go out and perform, whether it's a baseball player before he or she gets ready to take the plate, or it's a basketball player before they shoot a free throw, they do changes in their physiology in order to make sure that they're ready for that play. Watch a linebacker right before the hike of a football. There's a major change in physiology before that play happens. So let's talk about another facet of that triad: focus/meaning. So focus. One of the ways to talk about focus is to talk about language. What is the language that we use in order to describe something? And so what I want you to do for today, and by the way, I'm giving you little exercises most days. Obviously, it can become overwhelming. There's a lot of different things to do. This is designed to give you information each day. Use it as you can. The more that you watch this stuff, the better. You know, your subconscious is going to pick up on a lot of these things. And, so we're adding each time, but if you get overwhelmed, then, don't worry about adding that particular thing that day. Wait and go back and add it another time. And there isn't any perfection here. This is an ongoing evolution. Each day, just change a little bit. Remember, if you're going along on a plane like this and you just make a 1 degree change in anything, in life, in your finances, in your health, over time, that 1 degree turns into a massive different change. That's a whole new life. That's a whole new trajectory that you're on. So just make little changes each day, just little amounts. Like if you're losing weight, let's say you're starting a diet today. It's Monday, we're starting a diet. If you're losing weight, don't think about losing 20 pounds or 30 pounds or 50 pounds. Think to yourself, can I lose 2 pounds a week? That's it. I mean, if you're 40 years old, it probably took you 10 years or at least 5 years to put the weight on that you want to take off. And if you say, well, I want to lose 20 pounds a week or 2 pounds a week, then in 4 weeks, 8 pounds, in 8 weeks, 16 pounds, in 12 weeks, 24 pounds. So in 3 months, you could lose 24 pounds if all you do is lose 2 pounds a week, less than half a pound a day. So today is April 20th. So May 20th, June 20th, by July 20th, by the end of July, you could be down 25 pounds at 2 pounds a week. That's it. Little changes make all the difference. So language. The language that we give to things gives the meaning to those particular things. So if when describing something to yourself or to somebody else, you say that it was devastating, that's going to carry with it a different emotion, a different state, than if you say it was unfortunate. And this is something that the business community has been doing for a long time. And, sometimes it got made fun of that everybody came up with these strange phrases. Jim Cramer on CNBC talks about Honeywell's phrase, suboptimal. That outcome was suboptimal. And when they initially said that, they were talking about a terrible situation, suboptimal. So now he makes fun of that. He says it all the time. But those things make a big difference. When you say something is, if you say that I'm pissed off as opposed to I'm upset, those words carry two different states. They carry two different feelings. Now, they're going to carry a different feeling with each person. So it's a matter of what does that carry for you? Okay, so I'm talking about kind of generalizations. I'm coming up on 9 years since I had an interesting financial experience in my life where something happened that I had nothing to do with and I had no control over, and it wasn't my fault. And in a matter of months, all the finances that I had created in my life for 20 years from saving and doing everything that you're supposed to do went away. Everything went away, and I was in massive debt, and I hadn't done anything wrong. Well, for a while I called that devastating and ridiculous, and there was lots of rantings, and there was lots of words that I shouldn't say on Facebook, and there was lots of that stuff. And then eventually I looked at it and I said, first of all, I started making a radical change in my physiology. That was the first thing that I did. I started out with doing something major in terms of what I was eating. I went on a 30-day juice fast. I started running, even though I hadn't run in a long time, and I was probably 70 pounds heavier than I am now. And I ran too much. You got to be careful when you're doing that stuff. I ended up injuring myself. I ended up with tendonitis in my Achilles and tendonitis in my knee because it felt good to run. When I would run, I would be able to sleep. But I started calling it my personal growth opportunity. And that's how I started looking at it. I was like, I can't control anything that's going on around me. Every time I tried, it just got worse. But I can control myself. And I can control my response to this. And I said to myself, the way that I'm going to get through this is I'm gonna perfect me as best I can. I'm going to change the way that I look. I'm going to change the way that I feel. I'm going to change the way that I think. I had gotten off track, so I'm going to use all these things that I'm talking to you about now. And so as I started calling it my personal growth opportunity, the meaning to that event started becoming different to me. It didn't become about the event. It became about what am I going to do as a result of this? How am I going to use this in order to move forward? Because I changed that language. So for today, as you're going through things, listen to the language that you use, because we all have, catchphrases. We all have words that we use on a regular basis that we like. So, listen to what your catchphrases are. Listen to what your words are that you use on a regular basis. And are they helpful? Do you use words that make your day better? Or do you use words that make your day significantly worse? Do you say things like, this is devastating, this is catastrophic? I mean, there's people that use these massive words and for things that, quite frankly, aren't the end of the world. I mean, it's not, a child dying, or it's not, somebody's got cancer or somebody has coronavirus. It's, I got a speeding ticket. Okay, that's a bummer, but that's not catastrophic. That's not the end of the world. So listen to the language that you use, and listen to the language that other people use. When you go to work today, listen to the language that people use around you, or if you're online, or if you're listen to what the news uses. Listen to the language that they use in order to get your attention, because that's what they need to do right now, right? In order to try to get you to watch, they got to shock you in order to get your attention. So start paying attention to language, and then just start playing around with it. As instead of using a word that's creates a significant negative emotion, try to just make it neutral. Instead of pissed off, that makes me peeved. Instead of devastating, just say, well, that was unfortunate, And then maybe throw in a question. What can I learn from this? What about this is funny that I haven't looked at yet? What about this will allow me to learn something for the future, to not have a situation like this happen again? Remember, questions decide how we think. So, language, incredibly important, incredibly useful in every way. You can take something from a negative to a positive simply by the language that you use, because that language defines it. So pay attention to your language today. Don't forget to use your physiology first. Physiology is always where we start. Happy Monday, everybody. We're going to get through this. Go have a great Monday.